Take three.
Hey fellow enthusiasts, this is TommyLanham and my wife TommyLanham, and we are on a mission to break the monotony of the mundane and the mediocre by bringing as much enthusiasm to as many marriages as we possibly can, because we believe in the sanctity and the importance of marriage relationships. And so we want to do these segments. These YouTube segments are specifically on marriage and family and what has worked for us to feed our enthusiasm and to help us climb to our God-given potential in our relationships and in our families.
Here we go.
And today we want to share with you a technique that we have learned. Some of you may be familiar with, some of you may not. There's a book out that's been out for several years by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. If you have not read that, I would encourage you to read that. That is an excellent resource. But what Gary Chapman explains in that book is that we all have different love languages, and these are the 5 love languages. Acts of service, we'll start with
Acts of service, that's right.
Acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, and gift giving. Those are the 5 love languages that Gary Chapman outlines in his book titled The 5 Love Languages. And his whole concept of that book is that each one of us have a primary love language. For instance, my primary love language is quality time and physical touch. They're both kind of up there. The other 3 are a little lower. My wife's is acts of service. She loves, the best way for me to tell her that I love her is to work by her side. Whether it's doing dishes or working outside or organizing the house or...
Nothing says I love you more than your sexy husband coming in and helping you do dishes. If your love language is acts of service and mine is. So.
I don't get that.
You don't have to.
But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Mine is quality time and physical touch. So for my wife to sit beside me on the couch and watch a movie with me and hold my hand, that tells me that she loves me.
And I don't get that. But at the same time I get it. So.
Now what Gary Chapman explains in his book is that our tendency is to try to love our spouse in our own love language. So, for instance, my natural tendency would be to love my wife by physical touch and quality time, which is good to an extent, but if I'm not speaking her love language, which is acts of service, I'm not filling her love tank, and I'm using Gary Chapman's terminology here. He says when we love our spouse in their love language, not ours, but their love language, we feel what he calls their love tank. And so when I work with my wife, when we do things together, we do projects together, stuff like that, her love tank fills up. She feels loved. When I don't do that, her love tank starts to empty, and she doesn't feel as loved. Doesn't matter how much physical touch and quality time I give her, if I'm not doing acts of service with her and for her, her love tank is not going to fill up. It's going to drain. And vice versa, if she is loving me through her love language, if she's doing acts of service for me and with me, she's thinking, hey, that's the way I love. But my love tank is draining because what I need is quality time and physical touch. That's what fills up my love tank. Now, that's a great concept with that book. You got anything to add to that?
No.
All right.
No, you did that perfectly.
Well, it's on camera. She said I was perfect. That's what I heard.
I can cut that part out. Editing.
Anyway, I think that's a great illustration of how to love your spouse. You discover their love language, and listen, you can get online and you can take a test for free. They have surveys for free. They're not long. They're pretty easy and quick to take. And you can take those and you can discover both your love language and your spouse's love language if you both take the test. And they've even got them for kids too, which is a whole nother issue we may cover another day.
I'll find a link to it and I'll put it down below in the comments or even in the, what's that section?
Description.
Description. I'll put it in the video description if I find it. There you go.
And so that way you'll have that resource. Our one frustration with that was, how do we gauge how full our tanks are? If we're in our car, and he even uses this illustration in his book, if we're in our car, we've got a gas gauge there, and we know when we fill up with gas, that gas gauge goes over to the full. But as you run the car, it slowly comes down, and you look at it, and as it gets toward the empty, depending on how you do things, some of you will fill up after it passes half a tank. Some of you will wait until it hits the E and the light starts flashing at you before you fill up.
Fumes.
Yeah. Whatever it is, but you've got that indicator. You know how much is left in your tank. Our frustration with the whole concept, and we love the concept, but we didn't have an indicator. How do we know? You know, there's not a line on my wife that goes up and down depending on how full her love tank is. Same with me. There's not a line there. There's not a full line and an empty line, and there's not this big flashing red light that flashes when you're running on fumes. And so we developed an indicator. Just like the fuel indicator on your dashboard, we have an indicator. Dun, 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 dun. This is our indicator. This is what we do. I hope this is close enough for them to see.
It will.
All right. We take a deck of cards, and each one of us pulls out a suit. Mine are the diamonds.
He's the king of diamonds. Uh-oh. I dropped the card. I dropped my queen of hearts.
Her, I'll do an act of service for you.
Oh, my tank just went up.
There you go. And hers, obviously, she just said her suit is the hearts. And so mine are the diamonds, hers are the hearts. We keep this at a place in our dining room in card holders.
Right here, business card holder, just a typical little business card holder.
And we set them up like this, side by side. Can they see this?
Yeah, they will.
We set them up side by side, just like that. Now, this is what we do with them. With mine, remember mine are the diamonds. If my love tank is high, then my card is high. If my love tank is completely full, then I have it on an ace. Because that's the highest value card. And so the ace means I am completely full. You cannot fill me anymore. If you give me any more, I'm going to overflow. Which is still okay with me. I like to overflow. But this means I'm full. But as my tank begins to drain, I bring the card down. There's a king. If it goes down even further, I go to a queen. And on down until the lowest one, obviously, is the 2. You don't want your spouse to get to the 2, okay? You want to look at that. And we place this in our dining room where we see it multiple times a day. All right? And we can see where each other's love tank is. This is our indicator, whether it's full or it's empty or if it's somewhere in the middle. Has it suddenly dropped? What happened to make it suddenly drop? And we usually discuss that with each other, if not during the day, especially during our what we call our dialogue time at the end of the day, and we'll do a whole nother video on that sometime. We look at that indicator and we respond to that. Okay? Now, you don't want to use this to beat people up. You don't want to beat each other up with this. You don't want to say, well, they were mean to me, I'm going to put them a 2 just to show them. That's not the point. That's not the point. It's an honest indicator of where your love tank is, determined mostly by your love language and how your spouse is filling your love tank by loving you in your own love language and you loving them in their love language.
I get busy and we homeschool, we run 2 businesses out of our home. We are on the road constantly. We have kids in sports, and so sometimes I'm oblivious. I'm just oblivious. Are you shaking your head to that?
I agree. I am oblivious.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like, okay. But I'm oblivious, And so I don't notice when I am not taking the extra time to fill his love tank. And so when I walk through here, this space that we're standing in right now, we walk through here 100 times a day. This is the main traffic area of our home. And so we keep this right here. And if I happen to see a number drop, then it automatically brings to mind, oh, wait a minute, I haven't spent any quality time with him today. I haven't touched him, I haven't hugged him, I haven't kissed him good morning. And it's not just that, oh, your number drops because you forget to kiss him in the morning, but if you continuously ignore him or too busy for other things are taking my attention away from our relationship, this is a gentle reminder, it's a gentle nudge that says, hey, I'm over here and I need a little bit of gas. I need a little bit of filling up on my love tank. And that's it's a great reminder for me because life gets really busy and so I get distracted easily.
Right.
So
right. It just helps to put things in perspective because typically when your love tank is running low, it's typically not because your spouse is intentionally trying to make your love tank go low. Our natural tendency, even if you've read the books, you've studied those, you've taken classes on it, I've listened to seminars by Gary Chapman, I know this stuff, I teach this stuff when I'm coaching couples. But like Tammy said, when we get into day-to-day life, we still tend to lean toward what our love language is. Unless we're conscious of it and intentional about it, we will naturally love our spouse in our own love language instead of theirs. And so what this does is it reminds us, oh yeah, they need acts of service. Or he needs quality time. Or whatever your spouse's love language is. It's a way to be conscious of what's going on and make intentional adjustments to be able to fill your spouse's love tank. So hey guys, we just wanted to share this with you because we thought it was a great tool to be able to share with you. It has worked great for us. We have shared with others in some seminars and conferences that we have done, and we wanted to share it with you on this family segment of our YouTube videos. And because we believe in marriage, and we believe that especially in marriage, you need to feed each other's enthusiasm. Hey guys, if you enjoy the content that I've been sharing with you, please comment and let me know what resonated with you so that I can find that out. And plus, if there's anything else that you would like for me to cover, you can put that in the comment section as well. If you like this, please click on the like. If you'd like to be a part of the fellow enthusiast community, please click the subscribe button below.
all right, here, let's do it. You know it's recording, right?
So hey guys.
Take 71.
Woo!